Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my MLB DraftKings picks for Thursday, August 24th. We've got a 6-game main slate today on this Thursday. Pitching today is actually pretty loaded for it to be a 6-game slate. At least with like the stud options, got 5 guys over 10K on a 6-game slate. That's pretty impressive. Usually on small slates like this, usually pitching is really gross, but today it's actually got some intriguing options up top. Now the value in mid-tier is really thin today, especially the value tier. There's pretty much no value pitchers that I could see myself playing. And then at the mid-tier, there's really one guy that really stands out to me at the mid-tier. But other than that, I think you're really going to have to pay up for pitcher today, or at least you're going to have to spend a lot on your pitchers. I'm just not seeing a ton of value pitchers that I like. And then at the mid-tier, there's only one guy I like at the mid-tier. So I'm going to be looking to spend up on pitcher today. I really like one of those guys over 10K that we'll get onto in the video. And then at the mid-range, I think there's a guy that really stands out to me at the mid-range that I can pair with my expensive SP1. But I think since we are paying up for pitcher today, we're really going to have to look for the value. And I think there is plenty of value today. I believe the top offense, in my opinion, today is the Twins. I think the Twins are in the best spot, and a lot of their bats are very cheap. So I think it's relatively easy to where you can fit in one of those expensive pitchers of your choosing. So the expensive pitcher that I like today, we have 5 guys over 10K, and up top we got Chris Sale at 13,700 getting a matchup against Cleveland. I don't think this is a spot where you're going to have to roster Sale. I think there are options that are a little bit cheaper that have really good upside and are in really good spots. Chris Sale did face this Cleveland team earlier this year, and he didn't do well at all. I believe he had like his worst game of the year was against Cleveland. So this team hit him well last time. At 13,700, I don't really like that price tag given the matchup. Cleveland, they're just a good offense. They don't strike out. So I don't think Chris Sale's really a guy I'm going to try and jam in here. Being a 6-game slate, you would think maybe if you see Chris Sale on a 6-game slate, you would just jam him in. But there are actually some really intriguing options that are a little bit cheaper. And one of those options, the guy I really like today under Chris Sale, is Carlos Martinez at 12,100, getting a matchup against the Padres. Love this spot for Carlos Martinez, obviously at home against a Padres team that strikes out a ton versus right-handed pitching. The only thing that I don't really like about this spot is the price tag for Carmart. 12,100 does seem like a really hefty price to pay for Carlos Martinez. We haven't seen his price this high, and even in his last 10 games, he's never had a price tag this high. So paying 12-1 for him does seem like a lot, but obviously I think the price tag is worth it given the matchup against the Padres. This Padres team, they're terrible against right-handed pitching, and they strike out a ton. So far in the last 30 days, they're striking out 24% of the time versus right-handed pitching, and versus righties, they're not hitting the ball well at all either. Only hitting a 231 average and a 305 WOBA, which is towards the bottom of the league. So this team, they don't hit righties well at all, and they strike out a ton. So obviously, this is a great spot for Carlos Martinez. He's a really nice favorite today as well. Has Vegas on his side. He's a minus 219 favorite, and the Padres run total only implied to score 3.4 runs right now as I'm recording this video. So I think Carlos Martinez, he's the SP1 that I'm going to be looking at today. It does feel weird paying 12K for him when you have Chris Sale for just a little bit more, but I really am worried about that spot for Chris Sale against Cleveland. And obviously this is a dream matchup for Carmart at home against a Padres team that strikes out a ton. So really like Carlos Martinez today as my SP1 for 12,100. And then for SP2 today, if you can fit in one of those 10K guys like Strasburg, Keuchel, but I think it's going to be probably too hard to do that. That's just too much to pay for a pitcher. So we're going to have to look under 10K for an SP2. And I think there's one guy that really stands out at the mid-tier. Probably going to be the chalky SP2 today, but for good reason. And that's Jose Barrios at 8,600, getting a matchup against the White Sox. Jose Barrios is probably going to be the guy that everybody pairs with their expensive SP1. He's in a really good spot here against a White Sox team that's just not good versus right-handed pitching, and they do strike out a lot as well. So far versus righties in the last 30 days, the White Sox are striking out 23.7% of the time, and in the last 30 days versus righties, they're only hitting a 246 average and a 313 WOBA, which is towards the bottom of the league. So this White Sox team, just not really an offense you're just going to fear. If you just look through their lineup, a lot of bats in here you're not really going to be afraid of. Luis Garcia, Moncada, a good prospect, but not really a guy you're going to be afraid of taking a pitcher against. I would say Jose Abreu and Garcia are probably the only 2 guys you have to worry about in this lineup. And then other than that, you have a lot of guys that will strike out a ton versus right-handed pitching. Tim Anderson, Engel, Kevon Smith, a lot of these guys do strike out a lot versus righties. So this is a really good spot for Jose Barrios. He had been struggling as of late, but he really got things going in his last game against Arizona. I was on him that day. He pitched 7 innings, only allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, got 7 strikeouts, finished with 32 DraftKings points in his last game against Arizona. So maybe Barrios really starting to figure things out. So I really like Barrios today as a SP2. He's in another good spot here against a White Sox team that you're just not going to fear and that will strike out. So I think Jose Barrios, the SP2 option, the clear SP2 option today at 8,600. When we go with Carmar and Barrios as our 2 pitchers, we're only left with about 3,700 remaining per player. So all 3 of my hitters today are going to be under 4K. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think there is enough value out there tonight to where you can easily pay up for pitcher. At least I think there's enough value to where you can fit in one of those expensive pitchers and then pair him with Barrios and still be able to work around those 2. So my first value play is going to be a catcher. I usually don't recommend a catcher, but there is a really cheap catcher that I really like today that's in a great spot. And that's Chris Jimenez at 3,100, getting a matchup against Derek Holland. Chris Jimenez is a guy that hits lefties very well, and he is usually in the starting lineup when a lefty is on the mound. He's in the projected lineup now for the Twins. He is projected about 5th. And if he isn't in the lineup today, absolutely love him today as a cheap catcher we can target. Derek Holland, just terrible against right-handed hitters. So far this year to righties, Holland has allowed a 4.10 WOBA. And he also gives up a ton of home runs to righties, a 2.38 home run per 9 so far this year to right-handed hitters. And Holland also gives up a lot of hard and medium contact. 43% medium contact and 41% hard contact. So obviously this is a great spot for the Twins. Specifically their righties. Don't know if I'd really target the lefties because Holland does have decent numbers against lefties. But to righties, Dozier, Buxton, Escobar, Jimenez, Mitch Garver, and Polanco. I really like all those bats, and a lot of them are very cheap to where you can fit in those expensive pitchers that you want. So love this spot for the Twins. They have a 5.8 run total right now as I'm recording this video. So they're in a great spot here against Derek Holland. Holland just sucks against right-handed hitters, and I don't think anything's going to change here. He should get blown up, so I'm going to be looking to get some exposure to the Twins today with Chris Jimenez as a cheap catcher play that we can target for 3,100. And then for my next play, going to be going to third base. You can play this guy at third base or shortstop. Going to be looking to get some more exposure to the Twins, and I'm going to be doing that with Eduardo Escobar for 3,800, getting that matchup against Derek Holland. Same thing goes for Escobar as it does for Jimenez. Holland just really struggles with righties, and he gives up a ton of home runs to righties and a lot of hard contact. So obviously, love the Twins today. Love getting more exposure to them with Eduardo Escobar. They're obviously going to be the chalk stack today, but it's for good reason. Derek Holland, I was looking at his DK game log, and I believe in his last 3 games, he's put up negative points in 3 straight games. So Holland, dude's a gas can. He gets blown up pretty much every time he steps on the mound. And I don't think anything's going to change here. Love the Twins today. Love this spot for them. So going to be looking to get more exposure to their offense with Eduardo Escobar for 3,800. And then for my final play, we're going to be going to the outfield. A guy I like here with stolen base potential is Billy Hamilton for 3,900, getting a matchup against Jake Arrieta. Now, I'm not targeting Hamilton today because Arrieta is a bad pitcher. But there is one thing that Jake Arrieta really struggles with, and that is allowing stolen bases. Arrieta, he cannot hold on runners to save his life. Pretty much everybody steals on him, so I love this spot for Billy Hamilton. I just hope he gets on base, gets a walk, or draws a walk, maybe hits a single or something. Because we know if Billy Hamilton gets on base, he's obviously going to steal. And against Arrieta, there's no way Arrieta is going to be able to throw him out. Arrieta just takes so much time to get the ball out of his hand. He pretty much does a full windup. So if Billy Hamilton gets on base here, I'm expecting at least 1, possibly 2, maybe 3 stolen bases in this spot. We could see him get a walk and then steal second and third, and then maybe Cozart, Votto, Duvall, one of them drive him in, and he's return value just like that. So I think this is a great spot for Billy Hamilton to rack up some steals. He's obviously the fastest player in the majors. He's stolen 52 bases this year. The dude has crazy speed. So love Billy Hamilton today as a guy that we can target at the outfield with a lot of upside for just 3,900. And yeah, guys, so these are my 5 plays for tonight. I went with Carlos Martinez, Jose Barrios, Chris Jimenez, Eduardo Escobar, and Billy Hamilton. when we go with these 5 guys in our lineup, we're left with 3,700 remaining per player, which I think can be worked around today. Like I said, look to plug in some more Twins bats, the righties in general. A lot of them are very cheap, so I don't think you should have a problem building a lineup around this 5. Or if you want to get my full lineup, then be sure to follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. My lineups are $5 a day, or you can get a week of lineups for $25. So if you are interested in that, be sure to message me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. Or if you just have any questions about the slate, or you need to ask me something, you can hit me up on Twitter as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. If this is your first time on my channel, please be sure to subscribe. I do upload these videos pretty much every day, so I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And if you never want to miss out on any videos, if you actually scroll down to where the subscribe button is, there's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you press that little bell icon, that'll actually notify you every time I upload. So be sure to do that as well if you never want to miss out on any videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.